Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
Is Erica Montgomery. Erica has been documenting consciousness of vegetables and found nature bits for over 8 years now. Previously, she documented consciousness leadership projects. Erica has always been a seeker of higher states of awareness. As an HSP, she tunes in with her mystic abilities to those around her to read the energies. She has been bringing forwarded the vegetable codes, which is a project that has been in transition and growth upon its conception, such as life itself. She relates nature and old traditional ways into today by slowing down to speed up. Here's to assist the reprogramming of our consciousness. As we shift into the new earth, we are here to co create. Thank you so much, Erica, for being with us today. And your topic for today is spirituality, art, health, and consciousness. Over to you, Erica.
Hi. I just want to thank everybody who went before me, because both of what you were speaking about actually directly relates to my work. And so I just wanted to say thank you to you both for your presentations, and to Dr. Yugandhar for putting this on. And I'm excited to be here and share this with you. This is my first time presenting in something this large. So I'm a little nervous, but that's okay. I'll get in the flow in a second. So, where do I start? I guess at the beginning. Really, it all starts with a choice, right? A choice to become more mindful about the way we live, what we're doing with ourselves, with our choices, with our families, with our actions, and how those actions affect ourselves and those around us. Because in the Native American traditions, we are taught that what we do is laying the path for the next 7 generations before us. And so now we have the opportunity to completely change the way in which we do everything, because we're living in a time of great change, and everything that has been before us is falling away. So this leaves us with a very unique opportunity to decide if we're going to keep doing things that don't work. And we all know that the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. So where we are now leaves us in this really unique position, because we have the opportunity to do it completely different. And we know so much more now. And we understand and can see, because we've been living as a human experiment together in this living co-creation, this living library, this living laboratory of unique experiences, what works better for some people and what doesn't for others. So I also, how this leads into conscious choice is, it all starts with the choice to do things differently, right? So I wouldn't be here right now if my mom wouldn't have made a choice to do something different. She realized that she was addicted to alcohol through watching someone speak about their experience as an alcoholic. And it was only through the bravery of this woman coming forward and speaking about her experience that my mom could see that she maybe had a challenge with this as well. And so she decided that she was going to change her life. And she did. And she quit drinking, and she changed my life and everyone in my family's life as a result of her decision. So this is how the ripple effect of consciousness and making conscious choices can start very small and lead to very big effects. My mom is an artist, or was an artist. She's passed on recently. And so just to quickly share with you here, this is one of her paintings that she did a long time ago. She liked to paint from photos. I'm just going to keep popping up different things here. So different things I can share. She was an internationally recognized artist with this piece in the International Artist magazine in 2001. And my mom used her paintings. This is a painting. Most people look at my photographs and they say, is that a painting or a photograph? And they look at her paintings and they say, is that a photograph or a painting? My mom used her art to transmute her pain. She was unhealthy. She had lung issues. She had asthma. She had arthritis. These are all inflammation things. Inflammation is something that can be fixed through our diet by eating foods that are anti-inflammatory, like turmeric. And this is blue turmeric, which I found through the power of Instagram. One of the farmers markets that I follow up in Oregon posted a picture of some blue turmeric one day. And I was like, wow, blue turmeric? So I immediately contacted the farm and they sent me this turmeric. And that was kind of the beginning of the magic of people sending me amazing vegetables or sharing amazing vegetables with me. Let me see what else, like these carrots. I invited my farmers to my first art show, which opened 4 years ago, 1 week after the election. And the night of the election, I was out promoting my show. And I was really excited. And, oh, come. And people were walking around shell-shocked, in shock, literally in shock and utter disbelief. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And I feel like for the last 4 years, people have been kind of walking around in this state of utter disbelief, going, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And these carrots, they love each other, right? When carrots are planted too close together, this is what can happen. They cross like this, or before they need to be thinned. This is the very first one that I found this way. I had no idea that carrots did this, because in the monoculture system of our food, where we normally get our food from a grocery store, you wouldn't find something like this, because it's funny looking. People don't buy things that are weird. The weird is always the outlier, but just because we're weird doesn't mean we don't still affect the whole. And I embrace the weirdness. I've always been a weird. I'm the weirdo that everybody loves, and I love my weirdness. And I have embraced it by taking pictures of weird vegetables, because I find weird stuff like this. Lots of twinsies have come my way, doubles, conjoined twins, I like to call them. And this would otherwise be known as the imperfect produce, like, the imperfect produce company. There's a whole new thing that has come out since I've started doing this work. And I would like to think that me just simply highlighting it has provided the consciousness for that to ripple out, because the super consciousness is a thing and it does take over eventually. And that's where we're headed, is the idea that we just have to think something and it will literally affect what's happening around us, which is part of why the pre-program of what you're being shown in mainstream is doom and gloom and fear, because they can control you from that state of fear, and the fear and the stress will literally cause sickness, and they know this. And so when you can remove yourself from a place of fear and remove the stress, you literally become immune to the things that when you don't acknowledge it, it doesn't happen. And the power of our thoughts is literally this powerful. We can all kinds of things draw into our experience or push them away by simply just saying, no, that's not happening, not on my timeline, not in my quantum reality, not in my multiverse. Maybe in your experience, but that's not the experience I came here for. And the experience that I came here for is one where the consciousness is raised, the wars are ended, the peace happens within ourselves. It's like how Sean was saying that we all have to calm the water within ourselves. And when we surrender to calming the storm within ourselves, it calms the water outside of us. So the idea that we can literally create peace on earth by creating peace within ourselves and peace within our relationships and peace within everything that we do in every action that we take. Slowing down to speed up and go forward is the way. Because when you slow down, you become more aware of your actions and your thoughts and how it's affecting you and how it's affecting those around you. When we think about the things before we say them, when we think about responding rather than reacting. And when we come from a place of calm response or coming from a loving response rather than one of any other place, it changes the outcome of the reaction that you get from the person that you're interacting with. And this is something that's really important to address right now, because there's a lot of reactivity happening, and there's a whole bunch of truth that's going to come out that's really uncomfortable for people. And it's only through the realization and the uncomfortable truth having light being given to it that we can transmute that darkness into something else. I started taking these vegetable pictures after leaving a relationship with a person, with a man who didn't want to eat any vegetables. And for 4 years, I ate more animal products out of compromise because it just seemed easier. Even though I didn't really like what I was eating, I didn't feel good. I didn't care for what was happening around me. And the more you know and understand about the law of attraction, it's easy to see it unfold sometimes in front of you when you're directly involved with someone who is in a lower frequency and in a lower state of vibration. And watching people draw more lower vibrational experiences into them very rapidly when they are in that state, it's like it's one of those quicksand drain things that you want to just actually try and get away from as fast as you can before you get sucked in with it. And it's the best thing that you can do for yourself is to maintain your own state of higher awareness and higher vibrational state of being. Because when you're calm and you're in your presence and you're in your power, that's where the power lies for everybody, to respond rather than react, and to understand that everyone came here for a different experience, and we're not in charge of what someone else came here to experience. We're in charge of our own experience. And so when you live from this place of, I'm only going to set my own soul on fire because my job is to honor my soul and what my soul experience is. And everyone came here for a different experience. And we all came for the same thing, and it was to wake up and remember who we are. And that remembering of who we are is that we are all eternal beings of light. And we come from light, we are light, and we return to light. And everything is fueled by the sun. And we've been programmed to be afraid of everything. We've been programmed to be afraid of our neighbors. We've been programmed to be afraid of nature. We've been programmed to be afraid of each other. We've been programmed to be afraid of everything around us that is actually helping us. And so when you can understand that sometimes these things that we're being told are harmful to us, it only becomes harmful when you believe it's harmful. It only becomes harmful when you allow that belief into your life. And this is where the power of your consciousness comes in, because it's a conscious choice to engage in that. I made a conscious choice to leave that relationship, and it changed my life. I went directly back to the farmer's market, and I found these vegetables. I found pink mushrooms. Who knew that there were pink oyster mushrooms? And look, do you see the face in it? And in the reflection, how this relates to consciousness itself, like in my work, what I see is that there is the thing here, and it is being reflected. By the way, I don't use Photoshop. This is not a manipulated image. This is as is, out of the camera, beyond a little crop and straightening. That's all I do. And the reflection that you're seeing is also not a mirror. It is an illusion of a mirror. And in that illusion, you can see another shadow. And there's actually 3 shadows there. So to me, what I see is the actual piece of, the subject itself being reflected. And part of what I learned as a photographer for 35 years is that people don't like what they see. Most regular people don't like photos of themselves because the camera shows you the reverse of what you're seeing in the mirror. And that's not what you're used to looking at. So you think you look funny in all these pictures because you're being shown what other people see, not what you see. And so when you understand that everybody else has a different perception of you based on their interaction with you and their experience of you, you're actually a completely different person to everyone that you know, because they all know a different experience of you. And that allows the freedom for you to be a completely different person in every interaction you have, and allows for you to change who you are rather rapidly, because each interaction that you strengthen with a new behavior only solidifies that by it becoming something that's normal versus not normal. And when we live outside of doing the same thing repeatedly, that's where the magic can come in. And so by me deciding to not go to the grocery store and just go to the farmer's market, it allowed me to find all of these things that I would have never found. I didn't know there were chocolate peppers or purple peppers. I made a rainbow of peppers one day. I looked in my refrigerator and I'm like, oh, look. And then when you eat the rainbow, you become the rainbow, and you become the high vibrational being that you already are, because you're eating something that is still alive, and it's vibrant, and it's full of color, and it's full of life. And there's seeds in it, and those seeds are the seeds of life. And when you eat the food in the grocery store, it's been sterilized. That's why I believe there's a correlation between the sterilization of women and the sterilization of our food. The GMO seeds don't regrow themselves. You have to keep buying those seeds. Any company that thinks that they can control life by controlling the seed is something you want to stay away from, and you don't want that anywhere in, near, or on your body. And after years of working in advertising, I can tell you that anything that there's an ad for on TV, I personally choose not to put it in or on my body, because it takes a lot of money to buy that airspace to manipulate your mind so that you think you need that thing in order to achieve a desired result. And I took my health back into my own hands many years ago. And I got really lucky because when my mom was getting healthy, I got to go stay with my grandmother. And she just turned 98 on All Souls Day. She is healthy. She's sharp as a tack. She's still writing. I'm actually working on a children's book with her. And I'm going to share a quick poem with you as a little sneak preview. She loves dates, and we grow dates here in Arizona. So I keep her in dates, fresh dates. So this is a poem that will be in the book. Dates. I love dates. Do you like them too? I put them on cereal because they are really good with all my food. They are so sweet. They just can't be beat. We eat them every day because they give energy. They grow on trees so tall and in bunches after all. She is my inspiration. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. When women are born and developed in the womb, we get all of our eggs at 4 months old, 4 months of development. So I actually spent time inside of my grandmother, and I spent time inside of my mom her whole life. So part of what happens when we take on these generational traumas is that anything your mother or your grandmother experienced will affect you until you bring that to light and clear it. And this is where the energy comes in. Everything is energy. By focusing on things, you can literally change your experience by focusing on the outcome of the result by which you would like to experience, and make manifest that thing with your focused intent and desired outcome being visualized, and by putting yourself in the state of feeling of having this. And so I basically dug my heels in, and when I realized that there was a whole bunch of corruption that needed to be exposed, and since we vote every day with our dollars, that what I was going to do was just give my money to the people that were doing things the right way, that I wanted to see more of. And so I go every week to the farmer's market and I shop from farmers. I travel this way. I eat this way everywhere I go. And if I go out, I only go to restaurants that are serving food from local farmers, because those restaurants are doing it the right way. I'm supporting local small businesses. I keep the money local. That's how we keep our power. We don't give it away to super conglomerate corporations who are not doing things to help you. We just witnessed the biggest massive transfer of wealth in a very short amount of time. And if you think that wasn't on purpose, think again. And right now, where you spend your money matters more than where you cast that vote in that thing that just happened that we're still sorting out. And so anyway, I tell my story is long and roundabout, but it all loops back together, because basically you are what you eat, and your food for thought is that statement is real, because we are what we think, we are what we eat, we are what we believe, we are how we act. And we create that with conscious choice. So what we need to do right now is come together and unify and understand that at the end of the day, We all want to be healthy. We all want love. We all want shelter. We all want to have more than enough. We all want to have our needs met. We all want to experience. I don't know. I got muted and now I'm back. Maybe my time's almost up. Basically, I would just like to, I guess, close with the idea that we're in this really unique position right now because it's up to us to change the future and rewrite it. We don't have to keep reliving the past if we don't want to. And where we are in the universe is this new high vibrational energy place that is allowing for instant manifestations to happen if you tap into it and believe that it's possible for you. You just have to know that it is and trust in that, and then surrender to the magic and the mystery of life as it unfolds, and understand that we are here to be a part of a bigger divine unfolding of something that leads us to something that is bigger and better than any of us have ever been allowed to imagine. Because if we can imagine this bigger, better, brighter future, it will literally happen for us instantly. We just all have to focus on that desired outcome of what we would like to see, rather than, we already know what we don't want. We've had a whole bunch of I don't want this anymore for the last 8 months. It's time for us to focus on what we do want and create it now. Because now is the only moment that we have to create the future that we want to see. So when we live from this state of presence and mindfulness and give gratitude for what already is, that's what allows more to come in. And my photography has been a meditation, and it's a practice. It allows me to stay present because I'm focused on what's right in front of me. I've been living this mindful, meditative state my whole life without even realizing that that's what I was doing, until I started to explore all the different ways that mindfulness and meditation could actually be practiced in everything that we do, whether it's washing the dishes, walking the dog, doing the laundry, scrubbing the floor. Just being present and being mindful and pouring love and intention into every act that we do literally creates the ripples of change in the world that we want to see. So I invite you to practice more gratitude every day and give thanks for what is, even if it doesn't feel like it's something that you want to be thankful for, because it's only through the hardest trials and tribulations of our lives that we end up on the other side and get to something better, by continuing to baby step one day at a time through it and building things like this, and understanding that by opening our pineal gland, we can not become extinct. We only become extinct if we believe that that's what's happening. And if we continue down the same path that rapes and pillages the planet for profit. These butterflies were poisoned in Oak Creek Canyon. I watched them spray for pesticides in Sedona next to the water. And the next day I found all these dead butterflies, and then I didn't see any more butterflies. So if you don't think that your actions are affecting everything around you by buying chemicals, poisoning the water with chemicals, poisoning yourself with chemicals, we have to change our actions. And by refusing those poisonous products, that's how we drive and demand the change. We have the power to change it with our choice and with our actions, by what we support. So remember that the next time you go to buy something from Amazon, and instead choose to buy from an artist like me, or like Gabrielle, or Jacqueline, sorry. So many people. And understand that art can transform your life into something beautiful. My mom painted this. She used her pain. She was in pain, and she transformed her pain into art, and I did as well. It's an outlet for you to put your things that aren't working and change them into something that does work. All of this is possible within ourselves. The world outside of you doesn't want you to think that, because if you understand that, then we'll change everything, and we can do it in an instant. The 100th monkey effect is real. We can quantum jump into a new reality instantly. We have to choose that. Have a beautiful day.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Having
you,
me
Eureka.
here.
Fabulous presentation, fabulous, awesome presentation. So please stay tuned. We are going to have panel discussion after a couple of speakers. So here with a small token of appreciation to you, the World United proudly presents Eureka Montgomery for being an esteemed presenter for the World Parliament on Spirituality North America chapter, the 3rd edition in the row. So thank you very much. We are going to have next